Hey, where's your jersey? You took it off somewhere. Huh? Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kiljaedas. How's it going? We are back with another Raiders recap video. It is week 4 of the 2022-2023 season. The 2-1 Broncos are traveling to Vegas to meet our Raiders in an epic and, as usual, rivalry game. So, let's get at it. So pretty much, guys, we needed to win this game. Starting off at 0-3, trust me, I am not happy whatsoever about how our performance is. We should be 3-0 coming into this game. At the least 1-2. But the problem was that we kept beating ourselves every single freaking game. It didn't matter what it was. The other team didn't beat us. We beat ourselves to prevent us from winning that game. Each and every single one of them. Needless to say, though, this game was a must-win game. After all, next week, the week after that, I should say, is we're facing the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. That's almost an instant loss for us. Almost is the key word. We needed at least one win before we entered the bye week. And let me tell you guys, we put up one hell of a fight. The final score being 23-32. The Raiders win. We are now 1-3. And not only that, the overall record between us and the Donkeys is 70-54-2. So there's that. And a fun fact as well, should be our 5th win in a row against Denver, and that actually ties the third longest win streak that we've ever had against Denver. So back in the 1990s, we actually went on a 5-win streak against them. Of course, starting in 1979, going all the way to 1982, we actually had 6 wins. So we have a chance to tie that record right there. However, that doesn't pales in comparison to what we had, back in the early days, in the very beginnings of the 1970s, where we pretty much we were 18-0 at one point against the Donkeys. I mean, that's probably not going to be touched, but needless to say, though, Denver fans, just remember, even though you guys are really ticked off at how much you guys can't win against the Chiefs, we still probably have that record. Just saying. Anyways, this game was a hard-fought game. That's all I can say. There's a lot of key things that Denver did to basically lose the game. And we'll go over that in stats and stuff like that, because those are some key stats right there. But I am less angry now. I'm still angry, but less angry that we finally got notched a win on our belts for this season. But let's go ahead and go to their stats, guys. So for those who are new, I go over the team stats where I compare the two teams. On how they did with the game, and then I go to player stats, which for player stats I only do the Raiders game. If you want to know what's going on with the Broncos, then you better probably go over to That's Good Sports or something like that, because not here. I don't do it here. Anyways, for team stats, the Raiders beat out the Broncos 400-322 when it comes to total yards. Passing game, though, the Broncos beat us with 237-188. However, the biggest stat ever that was key to us winning, 212 rushing yards. Do you hear me, Josh McDaniels? Run the ball, and you will win. 212, I should say, to 85 rushing yards. Now, granted, Broncos beat us 6.2 to 5.2 when it comes to yards per play. Turnovers, key factor here for the Broncos. They had a fumble for loss. Or they should say they had a fumble loss, which was picked up by our defense and run down for a touchdown. Very key turnover for the Broncos. Us, on the other hand, no turnovers. A really big factor there. Time possession, 34 minutes and 52 seconds for the Raiders, 25 minutes and 8 seconds for the Broncos. In order for you to win, eating up as much time on the clock with you having the ball is key to winning, especially for the Raiders. One of the reasons why we won. The other thing, penalties. 7 for the Broncos, 4 for the Raiders. Again, we won in the penalty category, and so most of those penalties that were made by the Broncos were bad. Really, really bad. Let's just say that. It's definitely, again, this could have been even a bigger nail biter if not for the Broncos, just making those small mistakes right there. I mean, it is what it is. Moving on to player stats. So, for passing, Derek Carr leading the way with 21 for 34, 188 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. For those who are trying to support Carr, boo-hoo, as long as we win. And I'm sure that's the only stat that matters to Carr, is a notch in the win column. Rushing, Josh Jacobs leading the way, 28 attempts, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5.1 yard average. Run the ball. And shout out, of course, to also Derek Carr, who stepped up his game by scrambling for around, if I remember correctly, for 44 yards. Either that was 40. I can't remember. Either way, instead of just staying in the pocket and getting himself sacked, he knew when to get out of the pocket and run down for freaking positive yards. Good job on Derek Carr for that. Now, receiving, Devontae Adams leads the way with 9 receptions for 101 yards, no touchdowns. Oh, boo-hoo for those who like the passing game. To me, winning's more important. So for turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles. For the defense, though, they recorded that forced fumble, which turned into a touchdown, all due to Harmon and Robertson. Good job on you two for that. No interceptions, unfortunately. Sacks. 2 sacks by Mad Max Crosby. Not only that, but there are also 5 other tackles for losses due to 2 for Crosby, 2 for Perryman, and then 1 for Nate Hobbs, bringing a total of 7 tackles for loss. Good job on the defense for that. Moving on to special teams. Kicking, the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Carlson. 4 for 4 for field goals. His longest was 39 yards. 2 for 3 for extra point. What the heck, Daniel Carlson? You gotta make those. Come on. That 1 point could have been a key factor. Luckily, it wasn't. Make sure you do it. All right. It should be 15 points, but instead you end up with 14 points. Just saying, my boy. Come on now. Get it together. Punting. AJ Cole. He had 4 punts, 53.8 yard average, 1 inside the 20, and then his longest was 62 yards. Good job to AJ Cole. He, for the most part, it was a good job to him. There was a couple of punts that he could have done better. But hey, I'm not going to complain. Kick returns. Now, we had 2 people that did kick returns. One was Amir Abdullah, but leading the way was Bolden, who had 1 return for 32-yard average, which longest was 32. Now, for punt returns, we have Keenan Cole, which is 2 returns. Now, that's a typo down there, guys. It's actually 3.5 yard average. No touchdowns, 7 yards was his longest. There we go for that. And stats. And it's time for our favorite part of the game. Not game, the show. We have the turd sandwich going up against the Bacon Praise Burger. Well, as angry as I was, I am now less angry because we won. Therefore, I am going to be nice and give us the Bacon Praise Burger. What is a Bacon Praise Burger, you might ask? Well, let's just say you have a coworker that is doing something that they're not supposed to do, or I should say, maybe their attitude's bad, or maybe they're just doing something that is just absolutely stupid and you need them to improve on it. The same thing could be for a loved one. If maybe they're doing something wrong when it comes to their chores or whatever. Instead of subjecting them to the horrendous and cringe-worthy Subway commercials that Russell Wilson has, or even his "That's right," maybe instead of subjecting them to that as punishment, you should probably give them a praise burger. So, for a praise burger, what you do is you give them positive praise on something that they're doing good. Then you give them constructive criticism on ways that they can better themselves in a certain activity that they're doing. And then you finish it up with positive praise, just to make them feel warm and fuzzy inside. Of course, this is the Bacon Praise Burger, so I take whatever the best aspect is, and that is bacon for the Bacon Praise Burger. Because after all, bacon loves you. Bacon is love. Put some bacon inside you. And when I mean that, I mean eating, not in a sexual way, unless you're into that, which I'd say you should probably seek help. But either way, get some bacon at your local restaurant or store today. Let's go ahead. First things first, a win is a goddamn win. No matter how ugly it is, yeah, there were quite a few mistakes that happened for both offense and defense, but either way, a win is a win. And we finally got that one notch on the win column for the season. I'm not going to complain about that. Good job to the team for that. Now, skipping ahead though, that fumble for the score on defense. Turnovers are essential to winning the game, especially if you take that turnover and you score. Whether that be either you intercept it or pick up a fumble like what happened and running it all the way to the touchdown, or turn the ball over and then immediately going down and scoring on offense. Either way, good job to the defense for doing that. Good job to freaking Harmon for busting that ball loose. Good job to Robertson to run it all the way. Good job to the defense for not committing any penalties while Robertson was running for his life to get a touchdown. Good job on defense for that. Now, special teams when it comes to the punt team. The Denver Broncos had 3 punt returns for a total of 66 yards. That cannot happen, guys. 3 punts that unfortunately gave them great field position. That cannot happen, guys. AJ Cole, I know you want to boom that punt away, but make sure that you get a punt to where it's also high enough to where it can give our defenders time to go and track that guy down who's returning it. And the same thing, guys, get through those blocks and get that guy down on the ground. You gotta do better. Trust me, there's some way better punt returners out there, and they can easily capitalize on it. Next thing, the onside kick. What is with that onside kick? I mean, I know, I get it, you guys were trying to do something to catch them off guard, but I mean, that's just too cute. You shouldn't have done that. That was a bad decision. Finishing off though, guys, hey, you know what? Defense, good job on you guys. You guys showed up when it counted. Yes, there was a couple drives where you guys really were god awful. However, you guys stopped them when it counted. And you got that turnover. You also got to the freaking quarterback. And you guys got some tackles for losses. So good job to you, defense, for stepping up and making sure we stay in the game and we pull ahead. And of course, the bacon for today is for simply the offense for utilizing the freaking run game. Do you see now what you can do, Josh McDaniels, when you put in the run game? This should have been put in last 3 games. If we did that, the Raiders would have been 3-0. Now 4-0. But you didn't do that. And I'm angry about that. Now you know. In order to succeed, you need to establish the run game. It gives the offensive line confidence. If they were able to beat up the defensive line in the trenches and get positive yards on the run game, it is going to help them and their egos and their confidence to where when they have to finally drop back for pass coverage or pass protection, I should say, they're going to be a lot better having to face a demoralized and desperate defensive line if you can do that. Keep that going. Seriously. That is it for the Bacon Praise Burger. Munch on that for a little bit. Next week, guys, Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. Almost an instant loss. Keyword is almost. But we've done it before. We can do it again. I'm just very happy. I am just less angry now that at least we have a win in that one call. So yeah, there's that. That is it for today's episode, guys. Thank you for watching. So I am wearing my Raiders long sleeve shirt. I'm also wearing my blacked out Raiders hat and everything. So then, yeah, normally I wear this shirt for workouts, but you know, today it's just something different. Where is your jersey? Huh? Did you take it off during that entire time, huh? You shouldn't have that jersey. Good boy. Kiljaedas Jr. decided to just skip out on that. And it's okay. He's a good boy. Snuggle with his dad the entire time. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. And as usual, I shall catch y'all later. Bye.